805. Welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. We're about to welcome RTZ to the show, and you can call them toll-free at 1-800-344-ROCK. RTZ is the newest entry in the rock and roll arena from the Boston area, an area rich in rock and roll bands. But this band has a history. Brad Delp and Barry Goudreau both spent many years with the band Boston, certainly one of the top-selling groups in rock and roll history. And tonight it's our pleasure to welcome them live from New York City. Brad Delp, how are you tonight?
Very well. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Nice to speak with you. Also there in New York City with you is Barry Goudreau. Welcome to Rockline, Barry.
Hey, Bob. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Good to talk to you guys. Is the hurricane affecting New York City currently, or has it blown on through that area?
I think it's history at this point. It affected us as far as us getting here tonight. We weren't so sure we were going to make it. But
now, you flew in from Boston to New York to do the program tonight. So
right.
And
we had some people biting their nails, worrying whether we'd make it, but we made it.
Now you
10 minutes to spare.
10 minutes to spare. There you go. That's an eternity when you're talking live radio.
No problem.
So you had an 8:30 flight, and the plane actually left about 10:15. So
yeah, that's right.
And kind of backed up there at the airport.
Actually, there were people there at the airport that had been waiting since 11 o'clock in the morning. So
man,
wasn't that bad for us.
Now I assume everybody's family is okay, and things are pretty much okay back there in the East Coast area, the Northeast.
Yeah, it turned out not to be that bad where we live.
Fortunately, the south shore of Boston, I guess, got hit pretty well, but up where we were, it sort of veered off the sea. So, yeah, fortunately, but not as much damage as they were anticipating.
Now, as I mentioned in the introduction, most people will associate you with the band Boston, but now you have the RTZ project. How did this band come to be? What was the motivation? How was this band formed?
Barry?
Take it, Barry.
You tell them how the band got put together, and I'll tell them about the name. How's that?
Well, actually, Brad and I have worked together on and off for a long time. We met when we were teenagers. And Brad had gone off on the third stage tour, and when he came back, I had some songs together I didn't have any lyrics for, so I gave him a call and said, why don't you write some lyrics, see if we can come up with something, and it just fell together from there. We didn't really have any grand design for the thing. It just sort of happened.
And the two of you wrote predominantly the album. I mean, most of it anyway.
Yeah, the bulk of the material. There's one real nice ballad on the album that was written by our keyboard player, Brian Mays, called Till Your Love Comes Back Around. And there's, I think, maybe one or two others might be exceptions, but by and large, yeah, it's Barry and I.
Now, you've mentioned you've known each other since teenagers. Are you two related by marriage? Did I see that someplace?
Yeah, Barry and I are married to one another.
The truth revealed.
Barry, how many years? No, that's not true.
It's not true. Oh, that part, anyway.
Our wives are sisters.
Oh, there we go.
So Barry and I married into the same family, I guess. Is that... It's so confusing.
So your brother's-in-law.
It's very simple, really. Yeah, I guess we are.
Yeah, it's your brother-in-law, you know?
Right.
We're going to play a song right now. This is from the debut CD by RTC. This is called Face the Music on Rockline on the Global Satellite Network.
I can't blame you. Nobody wants to be the fool. Face the music, it's all there in front of you. You can get it if you really try. You can get it if you don't ask why. Oh, look at you, the life you've gotten used to. You don't care about the things you're into. You can get it, 'cause it's everywhere. Temptation hides behind every step. And when you get it, it makes you feel good. You don't regret it, but maybe you should just face the music. Oh, don't turn away. Just face the music. You can run or stay. First you admit it, Nobody wants to be the fool. Face the music, it's all there in front of you. And when you get it, it makes you feel good. You don't regret it, but maybe you should just face the music. Oh, don't turn away. Just face the music. You can run or stay. Whoa, face the music. Oh, don't turn away. Just face the music. You can run or stay. Whoa,
RTZ, Face the Music from the debut CD. We're with Brad Delp and Barry Goudreau from the band. We have a call from Tony, who is in Stevensville, Michigan. He's a listener of 95 WAOR in South Bend, Indiana. Tony, you're on the Rockline with us.
Hello,
Tony.
Barry Goudreau. This is Tony from Michigan.
Tony!
Yeah.
Barry, remember Tony?
What's happening?
Hey, I got a question, Barry.
Okay.
How did you come up with the name RTZ?
Well, that's a good story, Tony.
Barry's going to let me tell it, I guess. Actually, we were recording in Barry's home studio. He's got a little demo studio there. And Barry was leaving the studio and we just finished a track, and I wanted to play back the vocal that I had just done. So as he was leaving, I said, Barry, what do I have to do to get this to play back? And he said, there's a little button on the console, RTZ, just hit that. And I looked at it, and it took me a second to realize it means return to zero. It's for the tape counter. And at the same time, it had an appeal to me for some reason. When Barry came back down, I said, Barry, look at this little button here. What do you think of this for a name? It sort of made sense also for the both of us, because the idea behind this whole project was just to go back to stuff that we liked when we were kids, those kind of influences, and just to play what we liked. So it was very fortuitous in that sense.
Oh, fortuitous.
Fortuitous. Hey, we're cranking out some multisyllabic words
fortuitous.
tonight.
Yeah.
Tony, thank you very much. We're going to move to San Francisco now and take a call from someone listening to 97.3 KRQR. This is Prem. Prem, good evening and welcome.
Hi.
Prem.
How you doing?
Hey, brothers.
Yes, sir.
How do you like that? I didn't know that.
I don't think they did either, actually.
Oh, what's that?
That you were brothers-in-law.
All right.
We still haven't figured it out. We're still working on it.
I'm a diehard Boston fan, but
Great.
From what I've heard so far from RTZ, I'm definitely willing to give it a chance. It's
Well,
great.
thanks.
So,
We certainly appreciate it. It's really, I guess it doesn't really need to be said, but it's a completely new venture that we're on, and obviously there'll be some things reminiscent of the other sound with Barry and I in the band, but we didn't try and concentrate in making it extremely different or the same or one way or the other. We said let's just play some music and see what comes out, and we were very pleased with the results, and I hope other people will take your approach and try and accept it.
yeah.
You know, as RTZ.
Yeah, no, it's
Great, appreciate it.
Yeah, anyway, here's my question for you.
Uh-huh.
I know that in Boston, I haven't heard too much from RTZ yet because, you haven't been around for too long.
Right.
But I know in Boston, you did a lot of vocal overdubbing, and I wanted to know if you do that a lot in RTZ as well, and also if that's difficult to perform on stage.
Actually, there's not a whole lot of vocal overdubbing on this. No special reason, I guess. But I mean, there are a lot of harmonies and things, but there's not a lot of the sort of double tracking of all the vocals and things like that. It's a more, I guess, it's sort of a little more stripped down.
Yeah, we have a couple of tracks that the band sang backup on, and a couple of more tracks that we had some girls sing backup on.
That's right. The Water Sisters.
Mix it up. Yeah, they're out on tour with Paul Simon, actually.
Right.
Prem, there you go, and thank you for the call.
So little different song.
We are going to play a Boston song tonight, and then I want to let you know that we will play a couple more songs if time allows by RTZ, so you can get a feel and flavor for the band. He was saying that he hadn't heard that much. Well, we'll take care of that tonight for you.
Great.
Back to the first one by Boston, however, now, and Brad wrote this. It's called Let Me Take You Home Tonight on Rockline.
I'm really kinda shy, but I get this feeling whenever you walk by. I don't wanna down you, I wanna make you high. If you could see your way to me, come on and let me try. Let me take you home tonight. Mama, now it's alright, let me take you home tonight. I'll show you sweet delight. You must understand this. I've watched you for so long that I feel I've known you. I know it can't be wrong. If we just get together, I wanna make you see I'm dreaming of your sweet love tonight. So mama, let it be. Let me take you home tonight. Mama, now it's alright. Let me take you home tonight. I'll show you sweet delight. I don't wanna make excuses, I don't wanna lie. I just got to get loose with you.
Let Me Take You Home Tonight. That's Boston from the first album, written by Brad Delp. Brad and Barry Goudreau are our guests right now on Rockline. You can call them toll-free at 1-800-344-ROCK. Come on back with us on the Global Satellite Network.
WEBN, Cincinnati.
We are back. We're with RTZ right now with Brad Delp and Barry Goudreau. I'm Bob Coburn. Scott is on the line. He called from Chicago, and of course he's listening to The Loop, FM 98. Hi, Scott.
Hi, Bob. How you doing?
Doing great.
Hi, Brad. Hi, Barry.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott.
What's happening?
How's it going?
Real well. Trying to get this project off the ground here.
I first want to thank you guys for some great music, both from the 3 Boston albums and Barry from your 2 albums yourself.
Hey, thank you. You remembered.
Yeah,
a knowledgeable fan. There you go.
I tell you, they're awesome albums. My first question is, I know on your self-titled album, Barry, you got your Mean Woman Blues song, and then your second album, Orion the Hunter, you've got Joanne. Is that the same woman, and how does she fit into your life right now?
Well, actually, I wrote the first song, but I didn't. I wrote some of the other song. I didn't write.
You wrote some of Joanne, didn't you?
Yeah, but not the whole thing. And there's a song on this new album called "This Is My Life," which you might want to lump in there. I think I have a problem with women. I think is what it is. But I'm trying to work that out through this catharsis of
through songwriting.
Songs.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
Scott, what else tonight?
Well, my second question is your self-titled album or Orion the Hunter available on CD?
The Orion the Hunter album is on CD, but the solo album is dead and gone, I think.
Collector's item.
A collector's item. Scott, thanks for calling tonight. We're going to move on, as a lot of people want to talk to the guys in RTC. We have Dave, who would like to do that, in Columbia, Pennsylvania, listening to 98 Rock in Baltimore, Maryland. Dave, you're on the show with us.
Hey, Brad. Hey, Barry. How's it going?
All right, man.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, your album is fantastic. I love it.
Thanks. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Boston fan in the world. I've seen Boston 5 times. I even caught Orion the Hunter once.
Hey, all right.
Was that with Aerosmith? Were they opening for Aerosmith?
What's that?
Were they opening for Aerosmith?
Yep, at the Maryland.
Because you guys... Yeah.
Great.
Is RTZ going to be an ongoing project, or what's the deal?
Well, we don't like calling it a project. This is what we're doing now, and we have a deal to do more than one record. In fact, we recorded more songs than we could put on the first record, so we're well on the way to having the second one done.
Yeah, actually, we probably got a couple albums worth of material now. So we've been in rehearsal for quite a bit, trying to take this out on the road. And when we get finished with that, we'll probably go right back in the studio.
You guys, you recorded a lot more than made it on this first one, didn't you?
Yeah, we sure did. And we demoed everything, as I say, at Barry's house initially. We must have a couple dozen songs, some of which we'll do, that didn't make it to the record, but we're planning on doing at least a couple of those when we go out on the road. And we're going to do a couple of things. One from Barry's solo album, and there's a song we kind of reworked from the Orion the Hunter album too, that I had written the lyrics to.
There you go, Dave. Thanks for the call. One of the intents in doing this RTZ album was to make sure that it was a rock and roll record, and this sure qualifies. Hard Time in the Big House on Rockline.
Business for the man.
Yes, sir. Hard Time in the Big House. That is RTZ on Rockline. We have a call for the band from Pete in Edmonton, Alberta, a listener of Q97. Pete, you're on the Rockline.
Yeah, how you doing, boys?
Real well. How are you?
Oh,
Hey, Pete.
All right, staying out of trouble.
All
I got a
right.
question for Barry. Okay.
Sure.
Boston, the old Boston had a very, very unique sound for the guitar. Now, I heard this was a result of plugging in a wah-wah backwards, and then the sound that came out was very much liked by yourself and pretty well stuck true. Is this a true story, or am I just hearing...
That's pretty close. I had a wah-wah pedal, and we noticed that if you left it right in the middle setting, that it had a real mid-rangey kind of thing that we really liked, so we just... worked the pedal so it stayed in that one spot all the time, and then later found out what frequency it was and got it a different way. But yeah, that's a true story.
I didn't know that.
The things you learn on Rockline, I tell you. Pete, thanks for the call. And by the way, the station there, of
Thanks,
course, is
Pete.
K97. And we have Alan from Tokyo Bay now. He's from Bay FM 78. And Alan, you're on the show with RTZ.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Real well.
Good.
Here's my question. Do you think the image of Boston will cloud or obscure the image of RTZ?
I think, obviously, that's what people know us from initially, and what we're hoping is that the more people become exposed to this, that they'll be able to kind of separate the two. And because I think if you really get too locked in, there's going to be preconceptions, and it'll either sound too much like Boston for some people or not enough like Boston. But I think if people can be a little open to it, hopefully there'll be something there that they'll enjoy. We enjoyed doing it. We had fun, and that was the main thing. And that's another thing that I hope will come across, too, in the music.
That's a really good question, Alan. Thank you. We're going to take a time out. We'll be back in a moment. Hopefully, we'll be able to play another song from RTZ on the other side. My producer, Mark, shaking his head. Yes, we will, right after this on the Global Satellite Network. Welcome back to Rockline. I'm Bob Coburn. Time for another song by RTZ. This is Return to Zero on the Global Satellite Network.
Before it gets too far, it's time to look at where we are. We're miles out to sea, from where we ought to be. Ooh, it's a shame violence comes too easily. They're dying in the streets. Now it seems it's up to you and me. This is no time for heroes. We got to get back. Return to zero. Love is what we need. Love and understanding. Love is what we need, yeah. We got to